Hello and welcome everyone to Miss Charlotte Astrology. My name is Charlotte. I'm a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, and they come in the form of actors, artists, musicians, politicians, royalty, serial killers. But today I'll be analyzing the chart of someone who started out as an influencer in the shadow of his big brother and has now transitioned into the main character and man of the moment. And I'm talking about Jake Paul, who today, well, you're going to get this a couple of days after. I just did Mike Tyson's chart. I'm going to put this out a few days later. But he today fought Mike Tyson. I watched it live with my friend in Canada, and we were like, it was riveting. It was riveting television. Fantastic. So he won the match against Mike Tyson, and now what's next for this guy? And so I just wanted to look at who Jake Paul was, what are his motivations, what is his destiny, and what potentially what I think might happen. Even though I don't usually do predictions, I think it's safe to say that like we can have a look at where he's gonna go. I have a very good idea. So yeah. Before I dive in, I just want you guys to know I do 5-minute MP3 readings. Those are focus readings on specific things in your chart or a specific issue in your life. And if you would issue in your life or thing in your life and you want me to analyze your chart to give you some insights into that, I have that. I also do 15-minute full chart readings, synastries, and transits. It's a great way to support me. If you like what I do on here, I basically record my voice and just rip up your chart for you. I also have YouTube members. If you are a YouTube member, you get early. You get to watch videos early. You get series videos. I'm doing one on the North Node right now. And I also take on your suggestions, and I do synastry charts and astrological charts at your request. And if you remember, you also get pretty generous discounts on my services. So yeah, join that if you'd like to financially support me. It's the best way to do it. And also, before I dive in, I want you guys to know I'm offering readings at the moment, and those are for December and for January. Jump on it now because there's limited spaces. Like literally, these things go fast. They will sell out. So if you see it and you want to do it, book it. As soon as you see this video. So thank you. This comes from my sponsor, me. All right, so let's have a look at Jake's chart. So he is a Taurus moon and rising. He wears his heart on his sleeve. He does. And then he's got this very powerful Capricorn stellium here. So he's a bit of a late bloomer, and he's got a midheaven in Aquarius with Uranus here, which is very powerful, very popular. I do think he might actually surpass his brother. I know he's been in the shadow of his brother for like the last decade, but this Pluto swinging into his 10th house, I wonder if like his brother, who's a Aries, is going to get jealous. I do wonder about that because we're prone to jealousy as Aries. I share a birthday with Logan Paul. It's just like, anyway. Let me know if you want me to do a chart reading on Logan Paul. And then he's got this Mars in Libra with the North Node. So, yeah, there's a lot going on here. And as you can see, there was a full moon on this fight. The moon in Taurus went over his natal moon and his ascendant. And then the sun went over his descendant as this fight was happening. So there's this huge supermoon in Scorpio Taurus. And he also has the North Node in Aries, which is like almost sitting on his natal Saturn. And Saturn represents like a lot of things, but it's like it governs that 10th house. So it's like money, attention, fame. It's also very heavy having that North Node sit on your Saturn. Like you're gonna feel like you have to work really hard for something with that kind of transit. And he's been working for it for at least a year. Like I feel like this fight got announced when the North Node was in Taurus, which was well over a year ago. So this has been a long wait. And of course, Pluto has been making its way through his Capricorn stellium and is just about, I think, in a few days, going to swing into Aquarius. So this is wild. This man is going to have. He's going to be, guys. I don't know how big he's going to get. He's going to get huge. He's an internet sensation. Of course, he's already been viral. He's been on the internet for a while, but this is almost like, in terms of celebrity, like godlike, because he's got all these like heavy planets at the top here. A midheaven Aquarius is a rebel. A midheaven in Aquarius is someone who breaks the rules. What rules? What are you talking about? A Uranus on the midheaven is someone who's known for being quite chaotic. You could potentially be dealing with a lot of people, like have a huge network, which he does. I mean, he's an internet star, and that's just going to grow. Jupiter is also in an outer sign conjunction with the midheaven. So Jupiter on the midheaven also indicates fame, and it's honor. It's more honorable. I think he's going to be known as someone who has a lot more honor than his brother, certainly. And then here's the thing, guys. Sun and Neptune people can be famous. Especially if it's at the top of the chart. But Sun and Neptune conjunctions, and they're exact at 27 degrees. He's going to have a lot of glory. I think later in life, maybe not now. I think maybe he needs to go through a Saturn return. He's a ninth houser. He's going to get spiritual. He's going to start getting a bit, which is a good thing. I hope he can set a really good example for young men, because young men are kind of lost right now and being hella chaotic. He's someone who's going to be very interested in magical things. Maybe not openly, but he will become more philosophical as he gets older. And I think that's a good thing. I would like to think he's going to mature very well into this energy, especially since Pluto's going to get off of that. I think he's had a hard 16 years feeling like he's in the shadow of his brother since he was like really little, but this is someone he's gonna surpass his brother. Look how like he's got so much blue in his chart. The moon does trine Jupiter and the sun and Neptune. I think he's just vulnerable. He's masculine, but he's just vulnerable enough that he appeals to people in a way where he can show emotion. I think that's going to be really good. He's got that moon on his ascendant, so he seems sweeter than his brother. He's even got softer features than his brother. I did notice that. This moon moving over his ascendant and his natal moon, the lunar return, if you want to call that, signals a change, like literally like a change of identity, because your rising sign is who you are and who you present yourself to be in the world. So having a planet move over that, there's going to be a change of face. There's going to be a change of appearance. There's going to be a change of the way you walk, the way you enter a room, the way you meet the world has changed. This transit has been incredibly powerful. Today has been incredibly powerful for him. And that's what made me think, oh, he might win this, especially with the sun moving over his descendant and going through his 7th house, which is it's the house of peaceful partnership, yes, but it's also the house of open enemies. And what is Mike Tyson to Jake Paul? He's an open enemy. But I think through this fight he will become a very good friend. I feel like that's what I'm seeing here. He had an enemy and he turned that enemy into a friend over this full moon, this super moon. I think they're calling it a super moon. Mike Tyson will be... I watched it at the end. It was really gracious how they ended it, because they've been shit talking each other like dickheads for a while. But in that moment, an open enemy turned into a friend, into a partner of some kind. So that was quite beautiful. But all of this, that North Node on the Saturn, that full moon on these two very like important parts of his chart, the ascendant and the descendant, his Venus return, Venus moving through here, he's gonna at least get a good paycheck. Pluto on his midheaven, like I was like, he's gonna win this. It's like his chart clicked into place. And usually when a chart clicks into place, there's no specific transit for being born or dying, obviously, but like a chart clicks into place. Like when someone dies, a chart clicks into place. And if they don't die, if they experience an intense change, the chart clicks into place. And that's what happened here. And I saw that and I was like, fuck. And for him, it looked like a new beginning. And for Mike, and I discussed this in the previous video, it looked like an ending. It looked like saying goodbye to his youth. And this man, and whether or not he would he would win or lose, I saw him having a stellar career. He's going to be making a lot of money. Here's the thing. I looked at his North Node. He's going through his nodal opposition now, which is the precursor to the Saturn return. It even goes on during a Saturn return very often. But that North Node, it lies in a conjunction with Mars, which is masculinity, which is war, which is rage, which is male things, which is exactly what he's doing as a boxer. And it's it's playing out in the 6th house of routine, and it's a work house. So doing manly things in order to earn money, like a job, that's what he's meant to be doing. And because the North Node is in Libra, even though he is publicly fighting with people, he's also searching for popularity, because Libra is a diplomatic sign. I know this North Node is in a conjunction with the planet of war, but he's not going to war on a field, like in the trenches. This is not like he's going to war in a more performative way, because Libra is a performative sign. It's one of the performative signs. He's fighting. The fight is a performance. It's not like a literal war. And he does it for work. He gets paid for it. People throw money at his feet to do this performative war dance that he does. The problem I have here, because he is going to make a lot of money, he's going to be very successful. North Node with Mars is individualism and it's conquering something. He's going to do so well at this. I think he's going to be one of the greatest boxers of our time. I see that with this chart, especially with how it trines. Look at all these blue lines with that midheaven. Mars and the North Node trining the midheaven. He's going to be the man of the people. He's going to be immensely famous, immensely successful. What I have a problem with is, and I'm going to be so careful with what I say now, because I don't like to manifest shit for people. I'm worried about this Mercury square. And by the way, he has a 4-degree Mercury in Capricorn. And Mike Tyson has a 4-degree Mercury in Leo. I was like, their Mercury's both at 4 degrees. Okay, numerologists in the comments, please help me out. This is squaring his Mars. I don't like this. Mercury governs both the body and the mind, because it governs Gemini. It governs both Gemini and Virgo. Gemini being the mind and speech communication, and Virgo being the body. So having this square Mars in the health house, which is the Virgo house, I'm a bit worried. He might hurt himself. He might make himself sick. He might when you have a square between Mercury and Mars, you make decisions that's similar to playing Russian roulette. He's playing Russian roulette here. This is dangerous. Mars is masculinity and it's conquering. And because it's in a conjunction with his North Node and destiny, he will take the honor and the glory and the destiny and the pioneering and the popularity and the money and the success over the sensible choice. Because Mercury in Capricorn is it can be a pretty sensible placement. Oh, I'm not feeling well today. I really shouldn't go there out in the ring when I'm sick. But I have to, and I'm going to make this money. So many people want to see me. So many people, I can't just cancel it now. I've got to make the people happy. I've got to do it. I've got to show the world. But you're sick. So his brain is telling him one thing, but his dick is telling him another. And that's the problem with a Mercury and Mars square. And he will win many of those fights. But at one point, he might not. And he might not get away with it. So I'm just worried about that. And also Saturn squares Mercury. Listen, Mercury, I associate with the brain and speech. That Mercury is not well aspected. And if he's getting knocks to the head, he's getting knocks to his Mercury, knocks to his brain, he'll pay for it. What does Saturn do to personal placements when they square it? If he's irresponsible with his health, there will be long-term consequences for that. And Mercury is playing out in a health house. He needs to take care of his body. But he's tasted glory. He's addicted now. He's addicted. So I just hope that he has a good support system and he can get through this. Can I just say also, today was a very emotional day. I think he, like, if anyone's like, when the moon is in the same sign as your like natal moon sign, it's a very emotional day. When the moon's in Libra, I'm like, ugh. When the moon's in Virgo and Libra, I lose my shit. He lost his shit. I have no doubt in my mind that he cried. And he cried in front of a lot of people because he's got his moon on his ascendant. He's like, like, he's a bit of a cuddler as well, I feel like, with that placement. But yeah. He's going to do so well. I just feel like as many trines and sextiles as he had, he still got a very severe T-square with Saturn, Mars, and Mercury. And Saturn with his south node, that's Saturn's, and it's in the 12th house. I'm just worried about that because Saturn on a south node will always call you back. Saturn on your south node, Prince Harry, Jake Paul, will always call you back. Daddy will always call you back, and you have to answer. You have to be held responsible. You have to pay for what you have done. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm a bit worried about this boy. He's going to do so well, no doubt in my mind. I'm just worried. By the way, I do think he might Venus in the 9th house, he might fall in love with someone who is foreign, someone who is from a different background than him. Potentially he might fall in love with someone who's very knowledgeable and learned, and someone that he learns like spiritual and intellectual things from, because I don't think he's in that world yet. I don't think he's the most intellectual person, but I think he has a desire to learn more things. I think he's very open. He's a bit more open spiritually than his brother, that's for sure. But I hope he ends up with someone who's intellectual and someone who can just like take him on that magic carpet ride. But a Venus in the 9th house is someone who'll fall in love with a foreigner, or someone who'll fall in love overseas, or someone who's either a lot older or potentially a lot younger. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, but that is there. That is there. Is there anything else that I see? Lilith in the 4th. How's his mum? I don't know anything about their parents. There's a bit of there's some toxicity with the mother, but anyway. Anyway. He seems to be very close to his mum, though. Maybe it's too close. Maybe he's a bit of a mama's boy. He's a mama's little boy. Yeah. Okay. That's all I have. This is a bit of a shorter one. It's just because Mike Tyson's was double. It was like, I think like 30 minutes long because he's had a longer life. This is a very young man with a very bright future ahead of him. Maybe in a few years, if I still have this channel, I'll redo his chart just to see how far he's gotten. But yeah, he'll do great. I just, anybody knows Jake Paul? Jake, if you're not feeling well before you go on stage, before you go in the ring, then don't. Maybe you'll get away with it for a few times, but at some point your luck will run out, and if it does, you might not come back from it. So if anybody knows Jake Paul and they're watching this, pass that on, please. Congratulations, Jake Paul. I hope this was well deserved because not everybody, but a few people are suggesting that this was all rigged, which would be illegal, right? But anyway, good work, and I wish him well, and congratulations. Bye.